discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, this video is brought to you by Audible. Audible is offering you a free audiobook with a 30-day free trial membership. All you need to do is go to audibletrial.com/BGUnlocked. The link is in the description below, and now enjoy the video. Hey everyone, welcome to the discussion for The Captain is Dead, which is one of my absolute favorite science fiction games. This actually made, I think it was like number 10 or 9 sci-fi, because I think this game is great. We've played it multiple times, and I mean, even your brother, when he played it, went out and bought it, because here's the interesting thing about this game. This was created on a website called GameCrafter, which is just a website where you can make games relatively cheap, and they did such a good job with it that AEG actually picked it up. AEG is the company that made Smash Up. So, awesome. And then they've since branched out and done other Captain is Dead series, like Lockdown, and then I believe I know there's another one coming out, and I think there's one more, but I can't remember exactly. So it's interesting the way that this game looks, like almost like that, kind of that polygon kind of art style. Almost like Super Hot. Yeah, like the Super Hot style, which I think is cool. I think it's a unique artistic viewpoint, but like the game doesn't look like spectacular otherwise. Yeah. Like if you were to see this on TV, you'd be like, oh, what is this? This doesn't look that great.
But I mean, it's unique.
It is unique.
Yeah. Which I disagree. Like I think it's like very colorful.
Right. But I mean, with like especially a lot of games that are coming out now, big grandiose miniatures and just a lot of like high quality.
I mean, someone pay for that.
Exactly. But
I don't know. I'd say the standees are pretty fucking dope.
I do like the standees. I like the see-through plastic standees. I think
the colored bases, so pleasing.
Yep, it is very
like
pleasing.
That minimalist aesthetic.
Right, and they did a really good job color coding everything so you don't have to constantly see. Okay, well, where is the bridge? You can be like, the red spot. That's the bridge. And then they have all the actions that you can do. Point to where.
That way you don't have to be like. Like you have to pick up a card and be like, where is this?
Yeah, or like, okay, so like, what are my actions again? And it's like all on one big sheet. They're all on the board that everyone's already looking at.
Or it's only in a book and it's one page and you all have to share.
yeah, it's one player aid that they don't give every player enough to do. So they did a really good job at just making it cohesive and user-friendly for the game. But as per usual, let's talk about negatives. Do we have any negatives with the game?
It seemed like a few of like these cards
were
a smooch unbalanced every once in a while, to where it's like that's almost breaking the game.
Yeah, and it depends on how they come out. They can really combo and just fuck you.
Exactly, and that's really my only complaint. It's the pandemic rule. Like the way pandemic can be either really easy or really hard, depending on just how the cards happen to come out on your turn. It's the exact same way with these alerts. What I do really like about this is that they are color coded and based off levels. So you go through level 1s, which are they're kind of like, especially at the beginning, you're like, okay, you're getting in the groove of trying to survive, and then so they're still kind of annoying, but they're not completely terrible. And then halfway through, you'll get to the level 2s, which is like, oh man, okay, we might lose this turn. How well can we do? And then if you're getting to level 3s, I'm pretty sure there's a level 3 in here that. And actually this could be a complaint for a lot of people. There's a card in the level 3 deck that it says Jump Core Destroyed. You just lose.
Oh, okay.
It's not a lose. So we had this many level 2s left. Not terrible. But our very first level 3 is the Jump Core Destroyed, so we would have just lost based off that.
Cancel!
And you can override it, which is really good. And actually having the external scanners is almost crucial to have. For that very reason, because then you'd be able to see this coming up, and you're like, oh, who's it going to be on your next turn? So they do something unique. So like kind of like the way Pandemic like has the discard deck jump back on top. You okay? And so you kind of know what's going to be hit. They allow that the same way external scanners do, because you at least get to see which 2 are going to be hitting you.
So this is Space Pandemic.
A little bit. I definitely get the Pandemic vibe from it because 4 actions, You're using locations and you're utilizing cards to to do actions.
I can definitely see that comparison.
And I mean, it's definitely not, and probably they're gonna make a space pandemic. I wouldn't be surprised.
Space AIDS.
Yeah, it's just like diseases, or it'll probably be like aliens that you have to deal with. But it kind of revolves around that, which there's nothing wrong with that because Pandemic I think is an excellent co-op game. That with this, and there are crucial things that you need to have, and similar to Pandemic, there are crucial people, like roles that you need. So I guess they're not really negatives for me because I'm always one for like, here's who you get, see how well you do. But just like Pandemic, if you don't have the medic, it's gonna be more difficult.
Yeah.
If you don't have, like, I would say almost the janitor or the admiral, you're gonna be more worse off because it's gonna be more difficult to do battle plans. It's gonna be more difficult to do the jump core repair.
Yeah.
So that could be a negative for a lot of people. It could be just too random. Like, there's nothing we can do that the fact that the external sensors got destroyed, and there's too much going on that we can't go repair it. So, oh man, here's an alien. Oh, okay, your turn. Yep, that's a 40% shield loss.
Yeah.
Like shit. Okay. How are we supposed to prep for that?
Yeah.
And that's a fair argument. It doesn't affect me because I like these kinds of games where it's just kind of like thematically shit hitting the fan, and it's like what can we do? What's priority? Okay, do we have to go repair the comm system? It'd be nice to have it, but no, we need to repair the teleporter.
Right.
Or we need to start manufacturing torpedoes. What do you guys think? Because you said a negative of yours was these kind of felt unbalanced.
They can, and Devin was right. Like, it just depends on how they come out. It can suck, but say lobby, you know what I mean?
Right. You have any negatives?
I don't really have too many negatives. I mean, it's probably one of my more favorite walkthrough games that we have played.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of any others that.
Right. Yeah. I'm trying
like in this style, not
right.
Really so role play, but more of a. Well, we kind of role play.
Yeah,
I mean, not like growing the character.
Yeah, exactly. You have a role that you're trying to do. I think
I'm a level 9 rogue, so.
Right. I really like the hand management system of this game with these skill cards and how crucial they are. They even tell you the rulebook is actually really good because they even tell you kind of hints. They're like, hey, here's the computer where you get skills. You cannot win without these. It's like, yeah, so it kind of tells you what you should focus on. Yep, war room battle planes are nice. And it even says, if you're not drawing these, you can win. It's just going to be harder. It's going to be harder to do. And then skills. You need skills to do actions. Otherwise, and to override. Which is another thing. That's actually going back a little bit. You said these might feel unbalanced. But what's really great is you have ways to stop them. Like the override system. Is just fantastic. I think that's one of the best elements. So if you do get a really shitty combo, like, oh man, the ship and then this battle damage is going to pop off, that's going to be a 50% hit. Well, which one do we want to override?
Right.
Now you can only override on your turn, but you can still kind of plan for that. You can be like, oh, there's 2 command cards over there in the cargo pod or the internal sensors. I'll go to the core and then grab those, so then I can override it on my turn. Which I think is fantastic. So they do have the luck, but they also have ways for you to mitigate said luck. I would say that the only sections on the ship, and they kind of go hand in hand with the roles that you're getting, but the sections on the ship that you hardly ever use is the science lab. The science lab, really, you're only ever dealing with anomalies.
I mean... Yeah, science.
Like, you want to do those upgrades, and if you can pull them off, they're super helpful. Because it's like, oh, hey, we all get an extra action, great. Or
I don't think once when we played has anyone been a science focus, and I think that's certainly reduced our likelihood of going there.
Yeah, because I think and they have a bunch of different roles too, which I think is neat. Because how you decide who you get, it's not just shuffle them all and deal. You shuffle the colors, and so you always have someone from a faction. You'll never have 2 blue. You'll never have any of that, but I believe I had, because the green is science, so the science officer has 2 science. After anyone discards an anomaly, you may draw 2 random skills from the skill deck, And note anomalies or lasting effects that come from the... Oh, it just tells you what an anomaly is. The cyborg, this one is unaffected by anomalies, and he has 5 actions.
Oh, nice.
And he can hold 7 cards.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because then there's yellow, there's a soldier and a weapons officer. There's a purple medical officer, a diplomat, and a counselor. Counselor just has a natural science ability in there. You may exchange 1 skill in your hand with 1 skill in the discard pile for 1 action. If another player is present at your location at the start of your turn, you get an extra action that turn. So they have a lot of like unique abilities in here, which I think are really cool. Because having the cyborg would have been awesome.
Right.
And you look at these and you're like, oh man, this person would be really good right now. Or, man, I wish we had the Admiral. Because I played this as a 2-player game, and we lost. Like, we got our ass kicked. There was, like, nothing you can do. I think a 3-player game is actually really good. The anomalies are very difficult to work around, but at least you can work around them. So I think that's really neat.
I like the fact that you can just adjust, your difficulty setting. Like, like it's just not one standard. Like Pandemic, like it is just that flat. Like,
yeah, the epidemics are just in the deck.
Like you can control, how fucked you get.
Right.
In a way.
We played it on normal, which we succeeded. And it was actually a perfect balance of stress. Like we had to strategize and sit here and be like, okay, what do we need to do? And it wasn't like a cakewalk. Like whenever we played base Pandemic, and we're just like, all right, so we won. Like this thing's a fucking joke. Because we had just done all the expansions for Pandemic, and it was like, oh wow, well, Earth is completely devastated. You can't adjust Pandemic even mid game. Because you'd have to shuffle the whole deck again and start over. I like how this one, you're like, okay, well, we tried normal, but this is actually really difficult. So then you just be like, well, let's bump it up to novice or casual.
So, like, if 3 people like you were finding it harder, like, let's say that they don't have a beautiful mind, and they are getting frustrated, like, that would be kind of a mood killer for a game, like, if it was just flatlined like that. But I think it's just nice that they give you the option. And then it's fun if you play on, what is that, Insane?
You start, you have that entire time to fucking repair the junk core, but you start with 2 less missiles.
2 fewer missiles?
Yeah, so you start with 3.
You already shot at them.
Damn.
Yeah.
Why?
How is
Why
that
do
even
you
possible?
guys want to play Bloodborne? Why do you want to play Dark Souls,
You just gotta get good. But in here's like in Bloodborne and Dark Souls, there's no randomness to that game.
Yeah.
Like you everything that you can do is at your disposal. Yeah. Here is like, well, oh great, okay, so those alerts came out. So
it's just I'm
trying to find the player count that you can do this up to. It is 7, 2 to 7 players. So you play on Insane with 7 people. Like, that's the only way I can think. So everyone has...
There's still, like, a card coming out every turn.
That is true, but you have... and it's the same reason with Pandemic. It's just like you can play with 4 people. It's like... And I say it's easier with less, just because that's less cards coming out. But if you really think about it, that is, on average, 4 actions per player, and only 1 card drawn. So you have 7... You have 32 total actions, and only 7 alerts being drawn. So, yeah, they suck, and that is more alerts, but it's more people to be able to deal with the alerts.
I mean, you're all pretty spread out.
Yeah. So, that's the only thing I can think of playing on Insane. Like, you cannot do Insane with 3 people. I would say you probably couldn't even do Insane with 5. Like, there's...
I'd say it would require several characters' unique abilities to handle it.
Yep, and you'd have to look at it.
Like, maximum efficiency.
Exactly. So, I mean, I like to always give it a shot. And the other great thing about this game is that it's not that long. It's like an hour and a half, lengthened or shortened depending on your difficulty. And there's always something to do. That's the other thing. Is like, a lot of cooperative games, there's times where it's like, I guess I'll just do this. Like, it's kind of easy, or, so I guess I'll just, but we didn't get to that point until she drew 3 engineering on her turn. Like, that is just absolute luck.
That couldn't have
been. We only won that way because of that.
Yeah.
And then the battle plans, it's just like, boom, 30% shield increase, and it's like, alright, well now, as a tactical officer, I don't have to worry about that anymore. I can go help and do other stuff. I really like that. I think it has a lot of cohesion in cooperative elements. What do you guys think? I've been talking quite a bit.
I think that pretty much covers it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Neat.
I should also stress that I'm not trying to quarterback everyone's abilities. I'm just throwing out ideas. I'm not making.
Sorry, that
you-
came out a little. I didn't mean it to come out as
The way
shitty as it
you
sounded.
suggest is by more of not suggesting.
No, you can do whatever you want. I'm just saying that it's like, this is what we can do, but do whatever you want. Like, I'm not gonna be like,
Right.
no, and like throw.
I mean, in a game like this, everyone needs to be communicating.
You do
Exactly.
whatever you want to do.
And also, it's because it's also recorded. So if I'm just like, the entire.
Like you hernia and they fall over.
But it's like, so it just increases communication, and because you can fire a lot of ideas. Like the very first thing was like, okay, what do you want to do? Oh, I want to do battle plans, and it's like, oh, well, here's another option that we have, because there's multiple times where we're playing games, and it's like, oh, here's what I think, and then Kat will jump in and be like, what if you do this? And I'm like, oh, I didn't think about that. Yes, that's a way better option. Like, it's cooperative, so you want to cooperate.
No.
But yeah, the other great thing is they have these battle plans that add discounts. Like it's like, well, we don't have a science person, but well, there's a battle plan that at least gives someone science.
Right.
So they kind of mitigate that lack of experience, I guess, for the different areas. I don't know. I think this is just a very, very solid and unique. It's a unique theme too, because it's like, oh shit, we were attacked, the captain died. What do we do? And another thing, the other thing I also really like, and this is also kind of what Pandemic does, how Pandemic has you place cubes on the board at the beginning. This does the same thing where you draw 5 alerts at the beginning, and then it's just like, because you start out at 100 shield, then it could just be, like there's one time where it was just shield damage after another, and all 5 cards were shield damage. So it was like, boop, 20%, and you're like, oh, okay, so let's run to the bridge and repair that.
Like 3 fighters.
Yeah, and I also really like how the hostile aliens they don't do anything except just get in your way. They don't move, they don't follow you, like, they're just in the way. You can't do anything in that room except kill. If they pop in, then you get injured, and I also like how injuring isn't like the end all be all. It's not like, oh, your character dies, like, he's out. Nope, it's just, okay, well, the only thing I can do is move or teleport, and it's not that hard to go to the infirmary. But there's very crucial things you need to keep up. Computers, teleporter, external scanners, I think are the 3 that you must focus on, otherwise you are screwed. Because there was a time when the teleporter went out and we were like, well, that's probably the end of the game.
Time to just curl up and die.
Yep.
Over. It's heavy and I'm scared of people.
Exactly. So this game is great. I'm curious to see what Lockdown does different, or if it's pretty much the same. Because I know there's a theming behind all of them. I think there was one where like when we escaped, we like ran into an asteroid field, and then like we had to survive from that. That was like one of their other Captain is Dead games. Lockdown, I think, is where we got captured.
Oh shit!
And we have to like escape the alien ship. I think that's what it is, but I'm not entirely sure. But I mean, that's pretty. You guys got anything else?
No.
You guys agree, disagree with me?
I mean, it's a good game. It's several unique facets. It's probably one of my favorite cooperative games.
Awesome.
It's got a good balance to it.
Awesome. Scale of 1 to 10. Cat!
I'll give it a 7.
So you're wrong. So why a 7?
Well, it's not my favorite.
Why?
Well, I don't know, because I have other favorites. Like, I don't think this would make my top 10 list.
Huh.
Well, it's...
Fine. Devin.
I'll give it a 9.
9? Yeah, that's... What was that? Was that our cat?
Yeah, Zepta.
It's a baby. It's like, oh my god! Who says that? Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9 as well. Any cooperative game that allows actual cooperation and that intense stress level, but also not feeling like, well, there's no fucking point, is great in my book. Yeah, I give it a 9 as well. So that is The Captain is Dead, everyone. I hope you enjoyed. Let us know what you think of the game in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.
Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching this, and if you like this video, then click the subscribe button below to enjoy any video that I put out. And right next to that subscribe button is a little bell. Click that so you get notified of whenever I actually upload these videos. If you want to support the channel, you can definitely visit my Patreon page. The link is in the description below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.